have any thoughts on that? How can you incentivize individual contributors to perform better in their particular area without having to necessarily tell them the only way to grow here is to be a leader?
It's a great question, and I'll share a couple thoughts. One of the strategist leaders we interviewed, he talked about strategists is defined as the leader operating at scale. Organizations in complexity and size that are completely beyond personal span of control of a leader. Now, if you and I are at a company and it's 25 or 50 employees, we can really all get to know each other. If you're running an organization of 10,000 people, you are never going to have a personal relationship on which to rely to cause that organization to be excellent. If you're running a part of it, all of it. And what this leader said, 14,000 people, he said, the question of incentives is, first you have to understand it's not the same for everyone. Mm-hmm. It will not be. And that, for example, in a large organization, you have this top end, these star performers. And in a way, you really don't need to worry about them because their sense of self-motivation and ambition is so high. They've taken care of that themselves. He said there's a bottom of the organization as well, which is they're not in it. And sooner or later, something's going to happen there as well. He said there's this vast middle. And that is where you have to be very sensitive to figure out what are the incentives that will cause that vast middle to perform better than any competition. I thought that was really interesting. The other thing I would say, Alejandro, and I don't know if this is a complete answer, but I'm fascinated with what we become committed to. And what I mean is that, for example, I was reading a book called Second Mountain recently, and very big on this idea of what do you do at the stage in your career when it becomes more about meaning and purpose, less so about the money and the rank and the title and the privileges. And I realized as I was reading this, like, oh my God, I got committed to this. I mean, in some ways, I'm your classic entrepreneur. I've been involved in a lot of different businesses, but it happens when talking, for example, about my company called Interim Execs. Well, I've been at that now a lot of years. And the book, now Right Leader, Right Time, well, it's as if I've doubled down because I've now taken on a new mission in terms of how to promote accountable, excellent leadership that I think is a new 25-year journey. I don't know the exact point I became committed, but now I know it's not about the money. It has nothing to do with the money. There's something bigger that is driving me, and it's purpose. And so that is the thing you seek. I think that we all want to seek in career and our work is what is it that we can and will become committed to, not because of any outside incentive. And so for a leader, what behooves them is figuring that out about themselves and then about the people around them. If it is committed about that team, that company, project, client set, whatever it is, then it points to how those incentives are going to best work. And if they're not committed, on the other hand, it points to a very different conversation because no incentives in the world are going to matter.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it right there, right? Like there's some people who are, no matter what you do, they're self-motivated and they're gonna do it. And I think to your point, there's some people at the bottom that also, no matter what you do, like they're going maybe through a phase where there's nothing you can do to help them get out of it.
It's also not, sorry to interrupt you, Alejandro,
but
not even to put labels of high, medium, low. So much of the world has become project-based. LinkedIn years ago, they started welcoming new employees by saying, we know it's highly likely you will not spend your entire career with us. Mm-hmm. More going to be a tour of duty. And so what are we going to do to be highly effective And even knowing that that's the situation, that we're going to have a great time working together. What do we do? And we cite things like, the movie industry has been like this now for a long time, that everyone comes together to make a great movie. The actors, the producers, the gaffers, the key grip, script writers, hundreds of different specialties come together to make a great movie. It's completely understood that when that movie's done, when it's a wrap, disband. It doesn't mean they leave their careers. They're all going to move on to another movie or another Netflix series. There's nothing wrong with that as a model. It promotes their individual excellence and how a great team could come together.